Are we on? Are we on? Are we on? I guess I'll do my check for audio. And I apologize as always. I'm not quite good yet at live streaming. Are we on? Are we on? Are we on? Yes, I can hear myself now. I guess I'll. Okay, welcome to my channel. Today, I am going to talk about a video that I saw recently, and I left a comment on the video. I saw the entire video about a supposed scientific approach to God. The scientific discovery that obliterated atheism. Wow, that's quite a, what's the word, compelling title for the video. But anyways, I listened to the entire video, not once, not twice, but I lost count of how many times I listened to this video, because I thought I was going to listen to some kind of scientific approach, some kind of evidence for a God. I was really prepared and open-minded. You know, I always like to watch these videos, listen to these videos, because I try to have an open mind, trying to learn, try to understand other people's views about different subjects. In this particular case, we're talking about God, one specific God, the God of the Bible. Anyways, in this video, I'm going to do an attempt to respond to a viewer that made the following comment in response to my comment. I don't know if I can, let me see. Yeah. Let me see, I can do zoom in. Yes. Okay. Hopefully this looks good. Please don't blame me. I'm learning how to do these things. Oh, there you go. I lost it. Here it is. Okay, I put in the video a comment saying no evidence, just preaching. Why did I put that comment? Because I saw the entire video more than once, analyzed everything this gentleman was saying. I never heard any evidence, and I'm pretty sure he was just preaching. Okay? So I like to provide evidence of what I'm talking about. So let's go back. Let's pause this. Let's put it to the end. And let's go back to putting this the way it was. Perfect. So if please bear with me. Okay. I'm just making sure that I'm recording what I'm supposed to be recording. Okay. So Did I read the comment? No, I didn't, right? So let's go back. I'm all confused. First time doing this like this. Okay, let's go back to zooming in. Okay, so this particular message from David Gross 9859, he wrote, "You must not have watched the video then. I watched it several times from beginning to end, and I pay attention to the video. You didn't seem to offer a better explanation how matter can create information and the translator and the receptor of that information without intelligence. Watch the video." Wow. Okay, this David Gross 9859, this is an attempt to respond to your comment, and why also I put the comment on that video that there's no evidence, just preaching. Okay, so let's close this. Let's go back to 100%. Here you go. And I'm looking at myself. Let's go back to the video. Okay. So let's go a little bit through the video. Look, before we start the video, if you, I think always my live streams are empty. But anyways, if you get to see this live stream recorded, you know, I would like to point out something to you. In this video, I am not trying to prove that I am smarter than you, or that the gentleman that appears on this video. Okay? I'm a human being just like you. I'm looking for answers. I'm trying to look for those answers, being as honest as possible with myself and being honest with the people around me. I'm trying to look for answers and not pretend that I found some of those answers. I'm just in the same boat as you. I'm in this life. I don't know it all, just like you. I'm learning. I'm trying to expand my knowledge, having experiences through life, trying to understand life, trying to understand what I'm doing here in this life. But again, in an honest way. So me sharing what I'm saying to you right now, please try to listen to what I'm going to say through this video analysis, with a more balanced, centralized mind, and try not to get emotional. I know I'm asking a lot of you, because when it comes to gods, when you ever mention the word God to someone that believes, probably like you, that you're a believer, it's really hard to talk in a logical, reasonable way, because as you're gonna hear me say, and I have said several times on my videos, when it comes to gods is about feelings, not about gods, about your feelings. Okay? So just kind of let's have a conversation here, not to see who's smarter than anybody, okay? I'm gonna try to do an honest review of this video and why I put a comment on the video that says no evidence, just preaching. Okay? So let's listen a little bit to the video and analyze if there's really something in that video that we can take it and to see how, and analyze and say, oh yes, I think God is real. Let's see if there's something in there that can help us. Okay? Here we go.
No one normally assumes that a coded message must have originated from an unintelligent materialistic source, except for atheists that deny God's existence, the same atheists that Scripture describes this way.
Okay, let's stop right there. Okay, let's you and me, okay? Yes, analyze the information. He talks about information. Let's see if there's something in the information that we can use, maybe to get closer to God, or just to learn something. The first thing that I noticed from the video, just from the beginning, is that there's a lot of music, and the music is very loud. Normally, okay, when you don't have, in my point of view, okay, I could be wrong, when you don't have really something really good to say that you know that has power, that has truth behind it, you're gonna try to move that information, direct it, have it more push by putting music into it, because through music you can get through the person's emotions. So if this information is so important, I don't want to have music on it, because I want to take all the information in. And when I'm in an emotional state, it's really hard for me. The information is going to go in very easily without me analyzing it. This is something that is universal. This is psychology, hypnotism, whatever you want to call it, okay? Through the emotions, it's easier to make impressions in your mind. So the music in this video tells me that, you know what, I think the information probably, I don't think it's that important, because otherwise they would allow the people to really pay attention to the information and listen to the information without being distracted with the music, which is very loud and distracting. I think the tone of the music is like, this is something important. This is something important. You gotta listen, pay attention. No. So right there, if we're 100%, giving 100% value to this information, I think you lower the gauge right there by putting that music. Very suspicious to me. Maybe you like the music and you love it. I don't. It makes me, distracts me. The second thing I noticed right away,
the same atheists that Scripture
right there, supposedly, I'm going to listen to a video that has something to do with the word scientific. Okay? And 14 seconds of this 20-minute video, the gentleman already has a book named the Bible right in front of him. From the 100% I started with an open mind, I lowered because of the music. Music not good, very distracting, very influential music. Seeing a book called the Bible right in front of him, I think this video is not going to be very scientific, but open mind, let's continue listening. So right there, come on, sir, if you listen to this video, to this analysis, it's really extremely hard to take you seriously putting a video saying the scientific discovery when you have the Bible right in front of you. Come on. For you, believer, I think it's more valuable to separate, at least for the video, put the Bible aside just for a moment and talk to the people that don't believe in your specific God, and talk to them in a scientific way and convince them with the scientific information that there is a God. But if you put this book called the Bible right in front of the people that don't believe, and you're supposedly to talk to them about scientific discoveries. Come on. You yourself are making this video not serious. That's my point of view. I'm trying to be open mind and to be balanced and centered. Let's continue listening.
Describes this way.
Okay. So he's pretty much quoting the Bible 16 seconds when the video starts. Sir, I think right there you just lost half of your audience. If you really wanted to convey a message, a scientific message to people that don't believe, I think you lost half of your audience right there. You really, really, really think in your mind and in your heart, sir, that you're going to convince anybody that you're going to present scientific information by quoting the Bible, quoting the book that you believe that there is a God because of the information on the book. Come on, sir. You know, when I got to this point, I'm like, you know what? This is so, for a lack of another word, okay? This is a little bit childish, you know, like, come on, I gotta be very innocent not to see what you're doing. You're trying to, man, you're trying to slip something else and pretending you're giving something. You're trying to do it very naively, thinking that people are not going to notice what you're trying to do. You're trying to pretend this is scientific by quoting a book that is called the Bible. So at this point, I'm like, you know what? Let me do a little more digging, you know, and at the bottom here on the comments, I'm like, let me see what this guy is doing, what this gentleman is doing, because this video is very, very elaborated. I mean, I think it took quite a good amount of money to make, especially with the loud music. So I come down here and I see this link talking about answers in Genesis, and the magic word, donate. So right there, at least to me, okay, this brings me to the common denominator, okay, the most common denominator between people that speak about any God, money. Money. That's a common denominator from people that you always talk about Christian God, Muslim God, any God. Money. So I click, let me see if it shows, yes. It takes me to this website, Answers in Genesis. Okay. So I'm like, okay, so this is based on donations, information. No, down here, I don't know if you can see it. No, down here, there's money. The ways that you can donate. And where did I see it? Here. You can see sales, products, $298 for a kit, $15 for something, looks like a book or something. So there's money involved in here. See if I can event. So for me, there's a lot of money involved in here. but I don't know where it is. Okay, let me see if I can find it. Education, kids, videos. Well, I think by now you are able to tell that there's a lot of money involved in whatever this website is doing. So, right there, I saw when I saw this video and I came to this website, I saw up here they have the amount of money that they have collected. And I could remember wrong, but it was in the millions of dollars. So I ask you a question. Let's go back to the video. I ask you a question. If I tell you that the best cars out there are Toyotas, okay, and I'm presented to you as an expert in cars. I know a lot about cars for many years, and I can tell you confidently that the best car out there is a Toyota. And you're like, wow, so this must be true because he's an expert. Just for you to find out a few days later, a few weeks later, that I work in Toyota. So I am compromised. I am not being honest with you. I should have said that I work for Toyota. Okay, that probably you could have made a better judgment about my evaluation about the cars. So whenever someone is talking to me about God and trying to convince me or anybody that God is real, the God of one book, okay, is real and is alive, and I see that this person is receiving rewards for these beliefs in this particular God, I'm like, you know what? Probably you're not the best person to convince anybody that the God in that particular book exists. If you are a reasonable human being and you're being honest with yourself, wouldn't you agree with what I'm saying? Because if tomorrow is confirmed that this particular God from this book, it was real, it's made up, this person rewards are going to be affected in a negative way. I don't think the person is going to be happy with that. So anybody out there, preachers, whoever talk on YouTube about a particular God and trying to tell you, you see, God is real because he said that or because of this or that, and they're making money somehow, they're getting rewarded because of the information they're spreading. I try to be careful to what I listen from these people. I ask you a question. Wouldn't you agree with what I'm saying? You have to be careful. I'm not saying to stop listening to them. I'm not saying stop listening to this gentleman. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I will recommend to you that you take that in consideration when you listen to the information that he's telling you. Because maybe the entire information that he's telling you, maybe some parts of the information could be altered a little bit to convey a message that could be in benefit of him and whatever he's doing. Not for that reason, I'm going to cancel him and don't listen to what he says. No. Hey, Javier just filtered the information, okay? Because remember, he has some interest in the information. That's what I'm saying. Now, let's continue with the video.
The fool says in his heart, "There is no God."
The fool says in his heart, there is no God. Am I a fool? Am I trying very hard not to believe in God, the God of that particular book, mentioned in that book? Am I upset with this God? I have something against this God in particular. I'm upset at him with this information in this book. I'm a fool. I don't want to understand. I don't want to accept God of the book. No. Not at all. I am not a fool. I ask questions. I filter information. I try to be careful who I listen information from. I'm looking, I'm researching. No fool. Maybe that message that he put in the video is trying to convey to the listener that if you don't believe in God, you're a fool. No. Even if you are a believer and you have your doubts, you're not a fool. He's calling you a fool. I'm not calling you a fool. I think you're being smart and being careful on where you direct your energy to, or to whom you give your energy to, your attention, your time, your money.
For those my age, and especially those born afterwards, the question of whether God existed began to be a common subject in culture. And unlike the vast majority of people from previous generations in the West who took God's existence for granted, even if they weren't Christians, by the time I landed on planet Earth, the popularization of the supposed...
Okay, let's stop right there. I'm not going to go through the whole entire video. It's like 20-something minutes. So I'm just going to fast forward and try to get to some points that I think probably are a little bit more interesting.
Scientific story of Darwinian evolution had reached a tipping point in academia and public education and media.
Material causes to create an to the uninitiated. Moreover, that materialism is an absolute, for we cannot allow a divine foot in the door.
Now, a shorter summary of his beliefs could be said this way. There's nothing in science that compels us to accept a materialist view of life. But we're going to begin and end with that conclusion because we don't want to entertain any notion of God. And this fits perfectly with what we read in the book of Romans, where the Apostle Paul describes a detailed process of hardening in people's...
Okay, I gotta stop it right there. Remember, this is a scientific discovery. He's citing the Bible. Remember, am I upset with this God? No. Am I upset with Christianity? No. I have to work every day. I have to buy bread. I have to take out the trash. I'm not involved in this information. I don't hate it. I don't love it. You know, I like to analyze it. That's part of my channel. But seriously, sir, you're going to put a video, scientific discovery, obliterated atheism, and you're going to cite the Bible and continue citing the Bible like the Bible is the optimum truth, is law. Sir, the book that you're holding in your hand is a book that you believe that the information in the book is real. It is your belief. There's nothing scientific about this. I think you miscalculated when you name this video a scientific discovery and you're going to cite the Bible, probably a believer, a kid or a person that believes in the same God that you believe in gets excited with this information. But someone that is not attached emotionally to the information in the book can very easily see that what you're doing, sir, is trying to convince other people that your belief in the information is accurate or the information in the book is real. It is just your belief. What I'm trying to say with this is that citing the book will never, ever make you sound smarter, or you're going to convince anybody that this information is real. This is far, far, far away from any evidence. So far, what you have provided doesn't obliterate anything or anybody, any atheism, nothing. This is you, your video, your donations, again, your beliefs, and you presenting this information. At least not convincing me of anything, and I'm listening. You got all my attention with an open mind.
People's hearts and minds, where they suppress the truth of God that's been plainly shown to them.
How can you suppress the truth of God? This is a little God this big. You want to shut him down, just put your finger on top of him and you cancel the truth. That right there makes no sense, sir. This is the most powerful being in the universe. He knows it all. He's not bound by time. The Alpha, the Omega. And someone comes and put their finger and then cover God's truth. I'm not going to say anything else.
For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men, who by their unrighteousness suppress the...
Okay, listen very well. You believer, okay? Don't take my word to what I'm going to say to you right now. That right there translate to one word: fear. Just like the music, this is trying to influence your emotions, because no one with two fingers of brains will accept this information as real. So you had to depend on emotions and fears and the feelings of the person for the wrath of God. I understand that, because this Christian God is very violent. He likes to kill people. He has something about sacrifices that he really, I don't know, makes him go high or something. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men, who by their unrighteousness suppress the truth. So there's mean people, man, walking around to suppress. Let's suppress this God's truth and information. Let's suppress it. Come on. You know, I can tell that to a kid, a 7-year-old kid, and maybe he will think, oh, they're suppressing God's information. Come on. Probably you're listening to this, you're a grown man. Probably you are, I don't know, maybe over 18 years old. This is ridiculous. An all-powerful being? People are, you know, conspiring against him.
the truth. For what can be known about God is plain to them, because God has shown it to them. For his invisible attributes, namely his eternal power.
God hasn't shown anything to anybody. If that was true, this video would not be needed to try to convince anybody that this God in this book is real. If God would have shown something to me that this God from this book is real, I wouldn't be making this video. I'll be on my knees praying to God and, singing God's songs. This is a big, humongous lie. When I used to believe in God, in this particular God, I would read this and I would be like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. This is the word of the Lord. Now, when I'm honest with myself, I'm like, man, what the hell? What were you thinking? Stupid. This is ridiculous information. This is real life. This is not a soap opera, a novella. People conspiring against God's truth and the righteousness and the holiness and then the ungodliness and the unrighteous. Come on, this is real life. You and me have to go to work tomorrow. We have to get the bread so we can eat. We have to take the garbage. We're not about thinking about the unrighteousness and the ungodliness. This is real life.
Power and divine nature have been clearly perceived ever since the creation of the world in the things that have been made. So they are without excuse. For although they knew God, they did not honor him as God or give thanks to him, but they became futile in their thinking.
If you listen to this, probably you're uncomfortable. Your body's like, with the things I'm saying to you. This God is so powerful that he gets offended. If I look up and I say, God, you are very ridiculous. You get offended with anything, you little God. I imagine God going, and smoke coming out of his ears. You mocking God, you human. The most powerful being in the entire universe. This sounds ridiculous. This is an immense contradiction. God invented mocking. God created mockery. God created the possibility for you to mock God. Why would he get upset with his creation? It makes no sense. There's absolutely nothing that you can do that God did not create. Can you get that in your head? Why would God get offended by you calling him stupid? He created the ability for you to think those thoughts. It would be awful and horrible for a God to create you, to give you the ability to say the word stupid and get upset at you. If you were given the ability to say those words, it makes no sense. It's a humongous contradiction. If you're resisting what I'm telling you right now, it's because most likely of an emotional response that you have. The emotional attachment that you have with this God from this book doesn't allow you to think very well. It happened to me. I mentioned in other videos, I even told family members that God was first to me because I was blinded by this love to this God. Now, today, I'm more honest and I love my family.
And their foolish hearts were darkened. Claiming to be wise,
Okay.
they became fools and exchanged the glory of the immortal God for
Let's stop with the fools and fools and fools and calling human beings fools and fools and fools. Come on. Fools? Calling fools people that ask questions, people that think and use their mind that were given from God. God give you your mind, your heart. Makes no sense. Let's go to 5:15. I don't know why I signaled it on 5:15. Let's see what it says.
Indeed, despite the evidence of God's creative handiwork displayed everywhere,
Despite evidence of God's creation, just one. If you get to listen to this video, on the comment, just one evidence that the God mentioned in the book is real and alive and created everything. One piece of evidence. I'm not asking you for 10, 15. I guess there are a million pieces of evidence that the God of the book that you believe in created us and the universe and the universes. I'm just asking for one. Even better, okay? Just write one evidence that this gentleman provides in this video that the God in the book created you and me and the universe and things. Just one.
everywhere, materialists foolishly suppress that truth and come.
There's the word fool. Fool. This gentleman really likes to get to you the message that if you don't believe in the God from the same book that he believes, you're a fool. You are a fool. And of course, you don't want to be a fool. So, hey, you say, no, I'm not a fool. I believe in the same book from the same God from the same book that you believe in. Fool, 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 fool. How many times in this video you're going to listen to this word? You're a fool. You're a fool.
Come to revere man and nature rather than God. Despite often claiming they are free thinkers, they actually operate within a very closed-minded box called naturalism. And they don't entertain anything outside that box in their worldview. Remember how he phrased it? Atheistic.
You know, I'm gonna give you a piece of information that it helps me in situations in my life, has helped me a lot. When there's a problem that you have around you and you don't understand it, where it comes from, how to handle it, or if you have someone that is, I don't know, has something against you, or you see someone and you see something that you don't like, my recommendation to you is remember this. You sometimes see in other people what you do not want or cannot see on yourself. That for me, in my life, I understand it more. This is so truth. Some people are gonna call you, hey, what happened with you? You're gaining weight. And you look at the person and you look up and down and you say, okay, I know why the person is saying this. Someone is going to tell you you're a complete idiot because you don't believe in God, or you believe in a God. And you look at them and the things that they talk about and you understand why they're saying that. This gentleman saying that there's a group of people that are not very agreeing, you know, that one particular God created the universe. They have many questions, they doubt, they think something else created the universe. So he called them close-minded. I think in a way that's very disrespectful, but that's just my opinion. But it's so curious that he's seen other people's mind in a box. But if you think about it, the whole Christianity, where does it come from? From a book. That you can put it in a box. It's the size of a box. It's probably even smaller than the box he's putting right there. You ask someone, hey, the Christian God is real? Yes, because Corinthians 18, verse 25, everything is from the book. You ask a person, a believer, you ask this gentleman, hey, but what do you think about this? No, the book says. I think in a way he sees things in other people that he's not able to see in himself or do not want to see it on himself. If you really, really want to have a debate with someone that you know beforehand is not going to go anywhere, have it with a believer. It's my opinion, okay, that sometimes I make this as a joke, okay? Don't take it too seriously. You have a better time having a debate with a wall than with someone that believes in any God, any particular God. Why? Because you cannot debate emotions. Believing in God has nothing to do with believing in gods. Has everything to do with your feelings. In my opinion, it's impossible to believe in any God if it's not through your feelings. You gotta feel the God. You don't feel the God is not there.
Evolutionists like Lawan are committed to a materialistic origin of life, and they don't want to let a divine or supernatural, i.e. God, foot in the door. They believe that materialism is absolute. Matter is all there is. There's no soul or spirit or supernatural in this atheistic mind.
Sir, very respectfully, it is possible that it's just you that do not understand that when someone questions the God that you believe in from that particular book, someone has doubt, someone has question. That doesn't mean that they're putting their foot and they don't want to believe in that particular God.
Mindset. But you see, if the materialist's worldview is correct, there should be no non-material quantity in the universe. After all, how could matter produce a non-material entity?
Sir, in my particular case, let's continue.
And that's why they, even if very poorly, try to explain away feelings like love or happiness or sadness as just the result of a concoction of chemicals inside of us somehow producing such things. However, if matter is all that's supposed to exist, you'd think the discovery of something non-material would be sufficient to shake them from their naturalistic stupor and illuminate their darkened minds to the fact that materialism is absolutely false. And this is the case. There is a demonstrably non-materialistic component to the universe that you and I are utilizing right now.
I want to move forward. He's talking about information, and that information cannot come by itself from nothing. It has to come from an intelligence. It has to come from an intelligent mind. That's what he's saying here, but I'm not going to make you listen through the whole entire video. I'm going to jump to this part here.
Easily. Say I took a piece of chalk and wrote out this message on a blackboard. Hi, my name is Cal. If I asked you, where did the information come from? Would you say from the chalk? Now, before you answer, ask yourself, does chalk itself, a mixture of pulverized calcite and clay and water formed in... No. Obviously, information was carried and communicated on the material of the chalk because of the arrangement it was in. On my kitchen counter. Information content.
All that he's saying there is that the information doesn't come from from thin air. It doesn't come from nothing. It has to come from an intelligent mind. That's what he's saying right there.
And in the exact same way, DNA, which is comprised
the letters of the alphabet appearing in different sequences. These different sequences of letters spell out.
You get it, okay? He's talking about information. There's got to be a sender, a listener. This isn't to almost the end.
Can you see, despite materialists often deriding people who believe in God as science deniers and simple-minded people of faith, that the faith needed to believe their worldview goes way beyond faith and into the realm of pure fantasy? Sure, Christians believe in God by faith, but a well-founded.
Did you hear that? By faith. You don't have to show me evidence. I believe. Because I have the faith of a mountain. I need no evidence.
Faith. Faith in Jesus Christ is found.
This is more important because the video says scientific discovery, and you're talking about strong faith, believing with no evidence. Nobody who helped this gentleman to make this video raise their hand and say, "Sir, it's a little bit of a contradiction. Believing with no evidence, and you're talking about scientific discoveries and stuff like that, and talking about the information and the accuracy of the information from the sender and the receiver." You're making a wide, extremely wide range of I don't know, you're trying to cover all the entire basis to stick your God in this whole entire range of scientific and faith. In my point of view, you cannot be talking in the same video about scientific information and talking about faith, sir, respectfully. You that are listening to this rant that I'm saying here, some part of your humanity have to say, you know what, I think, yeah, talking about faith, believing with no evidence. I don't need evidence because I believe in my heart in Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. But the scientific information, because these fools that think the materialism, they are thinking in ways that are too fantastic out there, making things up because me and my faith. Sir, again, respectfully, you are describing in them what you are doing. Can you see this?
Founded on trusting the truth of God's word. And what we see in his word matches what we see in the world. This revelation from God is a credible.
Sir, why myself, I don't see the connection from the God in the book that you believe in. You were presented with this information, okay? You read the information, you were fed the information through your eyes or through your ears. you decided that the information is real because probably there was something feeling wise that was impressed in your mind about the information that you were presented with. Now, you believe that the information that you were presented with is the God mentioned here is the one that created all this, because the book says so. How do you make the connection, sir? Because there's an intelligent mind behind all this. How did you come up with the conclusion that it was one mind? Why not two minds? Out there are two gods. But you came to the conclusion that it has to be one because the information in the book says so. Here, whatever chapter thing, verse thing says that God is the only one, the intelligent mind. It cannot be other one. It cannot be two. The universe cannot be created by a group of intergalactic farmers that use this earth as a farm. No possible way. Why not? Because the book says so. The box says in here, the verse says that there's only one God. Sir, that's why people like me that allowed ourselves to be thinkers, to analyze the information, to understand the information, to have a better grasp of the information. I want to know this God. I don't want just to believe out of faith. I really want to know this God. I want to get closer to this God. It is powerful being. I want to know this God. Not so much the God of the Bible because he's very violent. I think if I'm ever in front of this God, Christian God, maybe if I look up and I look at him, he's like, you know what, you're toast. This one look at me in the eyes. How dare you? Get them to hell. Okay. What? This is the most offended God from all of them. But what I'm saying is, I want to know this God. I want to understand the information. Am I a fool because I want to know what's out there? You keep saying that the information is everywhere. I don't see it anywhere, sir. Well, I mentioned on my videos, this is a rock. It cannot create it itself. But how do you make the connection that this rock was created by the God in the book that you mentioned? Why it was not created from another God from another book? Nothing that you mentioned on this video, sir, nothing convinced me, not because I'm close-minded, not because I'm a fool, because you don't present any information, you don't present any evidence. Again, that the God in the book that you believe in created the universe, or us, or the information. There's a possibility that everything came from one being. There's a possibility that it came from two beings. But you don't believe that because the box that you believe in, the book, says that it's only one. So you're close-minded, sir. It can come from two gods, four gods. It was a team of God that created the universe. And you are never going to be able to understand that, to open your mind to that, to investigate that, to discover that, because you believe in this little God that gets offended for everything that someone told you 2,000 years ago when they didn't have information, like access to the information like we do today. So you talk about people being foolish and close-minded. Look at yourself. There's people out there like myself that look at you, look at your videos. I'm like, you know what? I don't think he's being honest, transparent. Maybe it's the project that he's in. I don't know. Maybe he's just close-minded. Maybe he sees foolishness everywhere. Maybe because he's one of them. Maybe I'm mistaken.
Incredible message given to us from the past by the one who was there from the beginning, who foresaw our needs and cares and wants the best for us.
I'm going to stop it right there, because if by now you're not able to tell that he's preaching 100%, there's nothing scientific in this video, nothing. It sounds scientific, it looks scientific, but there's nothing scientific about it. Again, I could be wrong. If you want, point me on the comments to where he provides for evidence that the God in his book is the one that created everything. Oh well, wow, I spoke for more than an hour. It's a lot. Again, there's way too many people on my on my live streams. I'm just kidding. There's no one there, but that's fine. Someone will listen to this video and probably start asking questions, which I think is perfectly fine. So, thank you for watching and see you in the next